Hello again. So today in this short tutorial I'm gonna be talking about retopology of photogrammetry scans high poly objects. They come with very messy topology. So I thought that it's gonna be useful to actually show a very quick method of bringing that topology into order and projecting this high quality texture back on them. I'm gonna be using Quad Remesher. That's a really good plugin. You can get you can download a trial version. Or you can purchase it. It's an amazing tool. It's also cheap. So you need to have this installed. I use Blender 5.01 for that. So let's dive into it. So let's start from the scan. So here we go. So we have that messy mesh over here. I'm just gonna duplicate that. Just gonna name it low. Turn it off. And what I find useful is to remesh this first in Blender. 0.01. That's the closest I think we can get to the original size, but this topology now is parametric, so Quad Remesher would go through this pretty easy, much faster. We can smooth shading and we can basically select that and go into Quad Remesher. So I'm gonna type it 50,000 quotes there, Remesher. That would take 2 minutes. There we go. We have another iteration of the object here. You can see it's nicely retopologized. So I'm gonna add shrink wrap, deformer, select the object. So we bring back some of the details here. And so when we look at it with textures on, you can see the objects overlapping. Well, we can remove this texture from the bottom. So what we need dot retopologize mesh wrapping the texture, the object that has a texture, the high poly one. So I'm gonna start from unwrapping UVs on that. So we go back to UV, we add in the texture. I'm gonna use image texture here. Okay, the same as the original scan. And it's already been selected here. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna go Smart UV Unwrap, and I will pack that UV islands here. And I will save that. So we have that saved as PNG. At the moment the texture is black, but we're gonna get back to it. So we go back to the shading, we disconnect that so we can see that better. So the next thing we need that texture to be, this object to be slightly above. Yeah, just 1 pixel above. So what we're gonna do next, we're gonna add another shrink wrap. The former. Select the high poly, and now we're just gonna wrap it outside of the high poly one. So it depends on your project, depends on your object. You need to basically adjust this offset here. I found that this is the offset that works for this, for me, the best. So you see some of the islands poking through here. We're gonna adjust this manually later, so let's apply this. We go into sculpting mode. I'm using like simple draw object, and I'm basically retouching this islands. Okay, I think we're good enough here. So now we're gonna do what we're moving back to object mode here, and we're going to project this high poly texture on this retopologize object. So how we're gonna do this is very good. Sometimes it's confusing, so it really doesn't matter what is the order you're gonna select them. The most important part here is to you're holding shift, and then when you click on the object, one basically highlights on this deep orange color. That means that's the source from which we're going to project our texture from, right? So second thing is, we need to have this texture and the empty texture with the UV. This is the destination. So we're going back to scene. Make sure that we are in the cycles here. You're gonna go into bake. We're gonna bake diffuse. So you don't need the direct or indirect contributions here. Make sure the selected to active, which means from high to retopo. Max ray distance, I found 0.1 works for this organic shapes, and that's simply it. Just type bake, just click bake and wait 2 minutes. So there we go. So we have our texture here. We can just drag that, connect it to the base, and as you can see, we have our texture projected, right? So as you can see, nicely projected. Here we go. So let's look at the original one. Which is like 1.5 mil polygons comparing to 50,000. Really nice topology, and you know, this is nice. This is something that we can use in whatever, in After Effects or whatever you want, right? So that's pretty much it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. So as you can see, the texture here is really nice, and we don't have any burnouts. Everything's nicely organized. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. See you in the next one.